So hello, today is my 10-minute learning video number 4, and today's topic is actually going to be on the Discover-E Global Marathon, which is an online webinar that I like to listen to every year. It's focused on women in STEM, so just speakers come on who are relevant in the STEM field. They make an effort to really have important people part of it. So today they actually had a Nobel laureate prize winner in chemistry on the conference. So as you can see, it's really people that you can trust. You can trust their opinions, and it's always motivational for me to listen to this type of webinar because I am a woman in STEM, and I'm not necessarily as advanced as I want to be in my career. So I'm trying to work on that. And so today in the webinar, they specifically talked about building your authentic brand, which is something that's very relevant in today's corporate world, because with social media and the online world and websites, you have to be able to present yourself to people and have a good idea of how people perceive you and who you are, and what narrative do you want to represent. So as an individual, what narrative do you want to represent? So a few things that I really got from the webinar. One aspect or one exercise that one of the speakers tells you to do is to say half a dozen to a dozen people in your life, so close friends, coworkers. Ask them to describe you in 3 words. Now, this will allow you to see a trend or to understand how others portray you, how they see you. So what is your current brand? What sort of characteristics do you ignite, or do people notice about you that stand out and make you a unique individual? So that can kind of give you a good idea on what people appreciate about you. Now, as for myself, I do think I need to spend a little bit more time getting to know myself and understanding where I am placing myself in the world. How am I gonna grow my career? How am I gonna develop? And one of the important aspects they've talked about is your ability to communicate and your confidence in public speaking, right? However, what I realized during the talk is that it's really easy to be like, I want to be successful, or I want to grow my career. And you see these people who have won a Nobel Prize, who are a consultant, who are working for a company. Like, you see all these kind of benchmarks that people have, or that show the rest of the population, look, I'm successful. You know, if you win a Nobel Prize, you're successful. Like, there are specific things that if a person has achieved it, they're deemed successful. So I think one of my main issues is that I have too vague of an idea that I want to be successful. And this type of vague idea does not help you get anywhere. It does not help you grow. It does not help you really find your niche or understand what you want to gain from it. If anything, it actually causes a certain amount of anxiety because you're so focused on just winning a prize or working for a company or these things that are just way too broad, that you're not going to ever truly understand or feel confident where you are, because you're not sure of exactly where you want to be or where you want to go. So I think it's important to ask yourself, okay, forget about the success thing, forget about winning prizes, forget about climbing the hierarchy of a company. Like, that's not the point. The point is, what specifically do you want to do? And this is something that I've been trying to figure out for years, but I've never really spent the time thinking about it and really deciding on a certain path. So this actually requires you to look around and think specifically, why? Why do I want to be at the top of this company? Or what company do I want to work for and why? Why do I want to work for a company? What is it that the company does that I think is important? And it's kind of about looking around and deciding and seeing, first of all, finding something you're interested in. So something that you can just sit down alone and kind of do without having to be motivated by the people around you or without kind of a deadline, like something that you can literally just do and enjoy to a certain amount. Because I know that every job, there's moments where you are just doing that thing that you're enjoying, but there's other moments where you're doing something that's necessary, like writing meeting minutes or writing an email, planning a meeting. Like these things, it's like nobody's like, I'm so passionate about planning meetings, you know? So I think at the base of the job, there has to be a certain element of that makes up the job that you enjoy doing, right? That you just enjoy it even without the idea, I'm making money, so I need to do this. Like just enjoying for like the intrinsic value it gives you. All of this is talking ideals, right? So once you figure kind of that out, so you look at all your options and you're like, okay, these are the things that I enjoy the most doing. Now, how can I build a career around that, right? And then this involves understanding, you look deeper into that field and you look at what are the problems encountered in the field? What are the things that people are trying to solve? Why does that matter to me? Like sort of looking at the deeper thing, because instead of just floating through life, I want to be successful. It's better to have an idea. I want to solve this little problem because it affects this amount of people, and I think that it will help the earth. Okay, not necessarily help, but there's this, and if it continues on this way, this is going to crash, and that's going to cause a lot of issues here. So I think that helping to solve this problem is the most important thing. Or in this field, I'm really interested in this because I'm really curious about it and I think there's something here to discover. So I want to work with these people, which will help me discover this, which will then answer this question that I have. Like a very kind of like, people ask you what you want to do and you have a very specific thing, like concrete, right? Because I think this can actually help prevent career anxiety, right? This career anxiety where these days, people are faced with so many options, and there's like, I was talking to an advisor on my project last week. We have a meeting every week, and he mentioned something like the problem today is not the resources. We have so many resources. You want to learn how to do something, you go on YouTube. You want to take a class for free, take a class on Coursera. You can download free modeling softwares. You can find mentors through TED Talks. You can take out 1 million books from the library. You can find community-run places that allow you to go repair your bike for free. Like, there's so many resources in developed nations these days that it's actually not the resources that are the problem. And this is kind of the first time I realized this is after he mentioned that, because I'm trying to learn a modeling software for my master's, is that it's not the resources. For the master's, I have all these research papers that show me how to use the model. I've gone to a workshop. I have exercises. I have the manuals of the model. Like people have put effort to make things easy for people to learn step by step. You need to consider these parameters. You need to consider this. So it's not the resources. What it is that discipline lacks today. Our attention lacks, so our ability to focus on one thing. I think we have a broken attention. You know, self-discipline is not the best. I'm actually personally experiencing these things. And also, I think there's a certain amount of overwhelm in kind of the possibilities that you have in learning things, and the small amount of the small time span of life. Like, it just feels like you can learn so much, but then you might only get gratification if you become an expert in something. But then having the discipline to do that thing every day, because no matter what, whether technology advances, technology could advance so far, but humans, our physiological and biological build is not advancing as fast. We still need hours of practice in order to get expert at things. And it's very important to develop these skills to have a successful career. So these are just things that I'm thinking about right now. And I really hope that I can sit down and think about my career, because I've been procrastinating about this for a long time. I've been kind of floating with this desire to be successful. Like, everyone has the desire, but can you kind of figure out what it is and why, and kind of make it a little bit more concrete? That's the challenge. So, food for thought. I just like to make these videos just talking about what's on my mind right now. So if you have any questions or comments, just shoot them below. And thanks for watching. Bye.